Hey there, and welcome back to Tim Talks Cooking. Today, we are talking Instant Pot vegetable soup. You heard me right, Instant Pot vegetable soup. And this one goes out to all my friends on Facebook and people who follow me on YouTube who are vegans and vegetarians who think there aren't enough keto recipes out there for them. This is a great one. And you know what? It's good even if you're not a vegetarian or a vegan. Get your veggies in there. Now, I'm excited about this recipe, so let's get started. Here are the ingredients you'll need to make this wonderful vegan soup. As you can see, there are quite a few of them. The prep here is going to take you about at least 20 minutes. It starts off, of course, with aromatic vegetables like most soups. Here I've got 1 large onion that I've cut into a medium dice, 2 ribs of celery, also in a medium dice, 2 carrots cut in thin rounds, 2 shallots that I've chopped up pretty finely. You can leave them out if you don't have them or you don't like them. I've also got 4 cloves of garlic that I've minced. You can use more or less garlic if you like. I've also got 8 ounces of mushrooms that I've chopped up, 1 red bell pepper cut into a medium dice, a nice big zucchini, you can use a smaller one if you want, that I've cut into medium dice, some chopped parsley for garnish. Here I've got about 2 cups of small cauliflower florets and half of a small head of cabbage, also about 2 cups, that I've cut into sort of big squarish pieces that I think will fit nicely on a tablespoon. We've also got some spices here, not really very many. We've got 2 teaspoons of Italian spices. We've got a teaspoon of smoked paprika. If you can leave that out if you like. You can use sweet paprika if you prefer. Also a teaspoon of kosher salt, freshly ground black pepper as always, a tablespoon of tomato paste, and we've also got a few canned ingredients here. Here we've got, this is a quart of my vegetable stock. That'll appear on your screen, somewhere on the screen anyway. Here we've got canned beans. 1 15-ounce can of beans that you buy in the store will be the equivalent of this beautiful pint of garbanzo beans I have. You can use any beans you like, of course. And the recipe for making your own canned beans at home will also appear on the screen. I've also got a jar of tomatoes. This is about the equivalent of a 15-ounce can of tomatoes you'd buy in the store. These are diced, and they're my beautiful home canned tomatoes from this summer. Now let's get started with that recipe. With the insert inserted, we want to heat up our Instant Pot pan using the saute setting for a couple of minutes before we put in the oil. I've already done that, so I'm going to go and put about 2 or 3 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil in here. As with any other soup, we're going to start by sauteing the aromatic vegetables. Yeah, I got a little sizzle going on there, that's all right. So in go the onions, carrots, celery, and shallots. I'm going to reserve the garlic for a little bit later because if you cook garlic for too long, it either burns or it loses its flavor. So we're going to wait. Get all this in there. And we're going to give it a stir. We're going to let these vegetables saute until the onion and shallot have turned translucent and softened. And we'll be back once that's taken place. It's now been about 4 or 5 minutes, and it's time to add some seasonings here. Just going to go ahead and toss all those in, as well as our tomato paste. When you saute tomato paste with your aromatic vegetables, it really does deepen the flavor of it. It's just delicious this way. You're going to want to just give it a minute or 2 here. Now I've added the mushrooms, and I'm going to let that cook for a good 2 minutes or so, just so we can sweat the mushrooms a little bit. They'll have a little more integrity in the soup. From this point on, the recipe is really very simple. We're just going to add all of the remaining ingredients. There's our tomatoes, there's our quart of vegetable stock. Give it a stir. I can feel with my spatula that there's a little fond down there, and I'm going to just stir it up so I can sort of scrape that off with my rubber spatula. That'll dissolve in that. That's lovely. It's called deglazing, that process. I'm going to add the rest of the vegetables. There we go. Give it a stir. We want to be careful not to fill this above 2/3 full. Some of these things are going to shrink, of course. So now I'm going to add the cauliflower and the cabbage. And I know what you're thinking, oh, that's pretty full. That's about exactly 2/3 of the way full. You'll notice I have not added the beans. I'll add those at the end. And of course, if you don't want the beans in yours, if you're really strict keto and you can't work in the carbohydrates, and really it's not very many carbohydrates for a little protein and some nice fiber here, you're not gonna have a whole can of beans in your bowl of soup. Look at this, is gonna make quite a few servings of soup, right? Now that we have the majority of our ingredients in here, we're gonna put the lid on. I'm going to set the valve to seal. I'm going to use the meat and stew setting because it has the highest pressure. And we're going to set the timer for 10 minutes. If you're new to the Instant Pot, you may not know that once you set it, the on light comes on, and until the pressure builds up to the right level, we're going to see that. Once it does, the counter will come on for 10 minutes, and then it'll start counting backwards from there. This is going to take more than 10 minutes in the end, so kind of sit back and relax. It'll be done pretty quickly, actually. Okay, and now we're ready to go here. I'm going to turn the heat off and release the pressure. Now that the pressure has returned to normal, we can simply remove our lid. And there we have it. Look at this beautiful soup. Now maybe get it in frame here, but there we go. Look at this gorgeous soup. That is just beautiful. We want to first of all give it a taste to check for seasoning, of course. Oh, that's very nice. I think it needs a little more salt. Actually, quite a bit of salt. I'm going to add more freshly ground black pepper. I'm going to add in my jar of beans. This will actually extend the number of servings of soup too. And if you're strictly keto, you don't want any carbs. Again, keto for me is I say this in many videos, it's a low carb, not a no carb diet. Do you need to drain and rinse your beans? Not really. Just stick them on in there. Look at that. This is going to be such a hearty, lovely bowl of soup. This will keep you from getting hungry all afternoon or all evening. I'm going to get my parsley in there. And this soup is ready to serve. Well, all right, let's give it a taste. This is one gorgeous bowl of soup here. Let me tell you what. Oh, yeah. Mmm. That is just delicious. That's a very flavorful soup. I love the little parsley garnish on top that I put there. You know, if you want to go vegetarian instead of vegan here, you might add a little grated Parmesan cheese or Parmigiano Reggiano. That'd be really delicious in this as well. Gee, if you want to go carnivore, a couple of bacon bits probably wouldn't hurt you, right? Anyway, listen. I think it's a wonderful soup, and it makes quite a bit. That's going to be enough for lots of servings. I'm going to say probably a good 10 to 14 servings of soup, and I'm going to be storing that, part of it at least, in my freezer for those days when I really just don't want to chop a bunch of vegetables again. Here you go, work all done. Anyway, listen, thanks for joining us here today on Tim Talks Cooking. Before you go, maybe think about sharing and commenting, liking, and especially subscribing to this channel, which helps me grow. And actually, if you click on the notifications bell, you will receive notifications every time I upload new videos, which is generally a couple of times a week. Thanks for joining us here today on Tim Talks Cooking. We'll catch you next time.